Sorry.
With a growing demand for international collaboration among scientists in current or with a growing demand for international collaboration among scientists in
Modern
cutting-
society,
modern or like cutting edge
Hmm.
research fields. Right. Or like kind of like we need international collaboration because like all of these projects that are currently on large scales, like we can't do that. Like no one group can do everything. Like you need the manpower from like different places to work on the same thing.
right.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so with a growing demand for international collaboration among researchers in modern day or among scientists in modern day research.
Where you would then talk about GLASS and SEO.
Yeah. There are different among scientists in modern day research to answer questions, to collectively answer questions about our universe. Right?
Hmm.
Is that fine?
Yeah, I like that. Eugene?
Eugene, what do you think?
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. It's okay.
Okay. So GLASS Education and Stone Age Observatory. So let's put here partnered with the WARO, West African Road,
Mhm.
right? To create an intensive educational experience for astronomy teaching and public engagement on
Not a fan of puzzling.
I'm a fan of it, but I like it, but I feel like
Would you rather go
Like-
something along fascinating or instructive?
um um sorry.
No, you're
Just
good.
like, okay, sounds good, Nameka. Partnered with the Law Road to create an intensive educational experience for astronomy teaching and public engagement, like leveraging globular clusters as a tool for discovery. Maybe that's just as generic.
Tool for instruction or tool for
I think instruction will be fine. Not really discovery. Again, like a reflection.
or is that going in like in a different direction than what you're thinking, Amanda?
I kind of want
Okay.
to be like globular clusters, like kind of like what Eugene wrote afterwards. Like we know so much about globular clusters, but we also don't know so much. So it's a perfect like entry level project because we already have a lot of the tools to observe them, but you can still use them to get more information that is still like kind of cutting edge research, right?
Right.
So I want it to be not just like instruction, like I want to like express that it's both, it's a good entry level kind of like it's easy to get into because globular clusters are observable and like really bright and whatever, but it also like lends itself to discovery of like, because we don't know everything there is to know about globular clusters.
Mhm.
So it's like this weird regime where it's both really studied, but it's still being studied a lot.
Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of what what Eugene says later, like they're very studied, but there's still much to learn about them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or as like the perfect combination of entry level astronomy and potential for discovery.
I like that.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. So then globular clusters are among the most studied objects in our Milky Way. Knowledge from them can contribute to our understanding of the distribution properties of dark matter, as well as what dynamic histories their host galaxies underwent.
I like underwent.
Yeah. However, there is still much to glean from globular clusters. Our project involves meeting online via Zoom and Slack. Our project involved, or like our
Meeting
project,
online via Zoom, utilizing Slack to communicate.
the project involved meeting via Zoom, utilizing Slack to communicate and observe remotely,
Yeah.
and performing analyses online using computer notebook / online tutorials. So how many words are we allowed? That's like another question.
Oh, that's a good question.
Let's see if I can find it. Um, okay, 2,000 characters, 500 words. So we have okay.
Oh, good. We're on pace.
Yeah, we're close. 5,000 characters. What did it say? Oh no, 2,000 characters.
2000, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Did
have,
you include our title?
no, because the title gets a separate.
60 characters. Perfect. Wait, how are we almost at 2000 characters and only half of the 500 words?
No, we're like way more. We're at 750 words and 5,000. Oh no, wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
know.
their estimate's just a little off.
Yeah, maybe they think we would use smaller words.
Four-letter word average.
Yeah. Okay, so we're good. So good job. Because this helps us a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So and knowledge of inventing truth and understanding. What's a better way to say knowledge from them?
Yeah.
The study of
So,
them, or the the blank on that one.
And globular cluster research has contributed to our understanding of the distribution properties of dark matter as well as to what history the host had. However, there's still much to glean from globular clusters. Okay, so let's do the line. So our project involved meeting online. I want to be like here and be like, and this is like what we wrote before we like move on.
Say that again.
Or maybe we can like I flipped where we put that
Oh, I see.
so that it like flows. So however, there's so much to glean from globular clusters. Our project has introduced some upcoming scientific data analysis tools in astrophysics to reduce, to observe, reduce, and analyze globular cluster data from SEO, right? Within our framework, the scientist is equipped to stack images using Jupyter Notebook, histogram, statistics. I think this doesn't need the D's. Scientist is equipped to stack images using Jupyter Notebook, observe and
I'm
download.
just imagining.
Use different filters and phrasing for conversion data reduction. Well, this presentation, some of the initial results, particularly the mosaics, the reduced data, and statistical data. Our data reduction. And statistics of our data. I think by the ASP conference, we can get some color magnitude diagrams. What do you guys think? If we really hustle. When is it again? It's the end of November, so we have a month. I think we can do it. What do you think?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, let's do it. We also show preliminary results. We will also show preliminary color magnitude diagrams and feature diagrams. Magnitudes of our
Eight five.
Ah,
So can I? And they could not late 10,000 before Christmas. Man, it was when they get a full. Or only the Christmas one only at 10,000.
Okay. So our project has introduced some upcoming scientists with data analysis tools in astrophysics to observe, reduce, and analyze globular cluster data from SEO within our framework. The scientist is equipped to stack images using Jupyter notebooks, plot histograms and statistics, observe and download images from SEO. We're using SEO as well as leveraging different filters for mosaic and flux calibration and data reduction. This presentation shows, in this presentation, we will present, or we show some of the initial results, some of our, take possession of it, our initial results, our initial results. In particular, we will present the mosaics, the globular cluster mosaics, our data reduction process, and statistics of our data. We will also show preliminary color magnitude diagrams, color magnitude, and Hertzsprung-Russell diagrams of our globular clusters. And then something about the future. So we will also present future plans to characterize the properties of the stellar populations in our clusters.
Bring another. Please, Aramo. Take touch and bring a makeup spot for me. That one, you have to make it.
I want to just like it.
And then like, because I think it's important that since it's still kind of like an education conference, to say something about like, we will show how you can, how we plan to onboard more people, or how you can apply this same like framework to your students, or like something like that. I don't know if it's worth including that. What do you guys think?
I think that makes sense, given that it's an educational conference. How many characters do we have to work with?
100, but we can still like
Trim,
change.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
the project.
I wonder,
Oh, yeah.
okay, go ahead. Okay, can I? Okay. I was thinking, are we going to base this presentation only on globular clusters? And again, is it not, don't you think it will make a little extra sense if we can try to relate this presentation? We'll try to make this globular cluster experiment or work to be an offshoot of the previous conference. Like it to make it look like to take something from here and merge it to be like a continuation what we had before. Then we could read through this abstract or through our conclusion in the, I think you should have the presentation for last year. Let's probably get to the conclusion and recommendations and see if what we have here so that we can merge that up in our write-up. I'm just thinking like
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we can like say something like, oh, last year we talked about like our all sky survey, and now we're like, yeah, something like that, something that leads in from last year to this year, so that it shows like a natural progression. Okay, how do we do that? So
Is it
maybe,
possible to call up? Is it possible to call up the presentation for last year? Let me search for it, but I think we should have it in one of the um Google Drives. I think.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we have the abstract here.
Yes, but I'm thinking about the presentation. We can go towards the end of it to see if we made any recommendations.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, let's try to find it. So, meeting notes. ASP, this one, I think. Here, I'll share it with you guys. And I'll put it in the chat. So yeah, future work.
Okay, yeah, I think here, let's see if there's anything we can make out from this.
What's
I would
LCD?
also a light curve database. Maybe we could yes, because we've been able to remember from this offshoot, we're able to send in the paper for the 15989, and it's
Yeah.
we're expecting it should be out any moment from now. And also I think we're still working on 1617, yeah, one of them. So could also put that, but maybe I think the idea is to capture it in the idea is to capture it in the abstract, even if it's in a sketchy way. So it doesn't really give you full information. But
Yeah.
we should be able to put that in the write-up in the presentation. It should be captured like this is a progress made from the components of last conference sort of. So
Yeah.
it's like continue and gives us the basis to always jump in every other year with progress made on this project. Maybe somewhere along the line could pay.
Yeah. So one question though is, do we want to submit more than one abstract? Because I don't, Adam, I know you guys will definitely have enough information on asteroids, but do you have enough on supernova to make a separate? No.
No.
So do we want two separate presentations, or do we want to combine it into one?
Combined, it gives it more quality and more flesh, sort of. If you spread it out, like we are just trying to say that this is all the same people in one project doing so many things at the same time. So I think we should make it look like it's a
You
one
think what?
Well,
step.
well, that would be lovely, but again, I think to make it look as if we are not just specific about learning a particular thing, but we're just like merging too many things at the same time, or we might end up missing up some key things as regards to their uniqueness. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think that keep in mind that these are 10 minutes. So we have 10 minutes to present everything.
I would think it's better to make two different presentations than to merge them up together, because they might be the same astronomical objects, but then they look different. And then, you know.
Well, why I'm saying we should add it up is that we may not have sufficient information now to make that asteroid a single paper, because in the last presentation, we were able to mention the light curve and the new period and amplitude that we're able to calculate. So now we don't have a new literature.
Oh, you have new information. Like, you can definitely talk for 10 minutes about asteroids. You submitted the last one to the Minor Planet Bulletin, which got accepted. You can't just like start by saying here's a light curve, because even though you talked about it last year, it's going to be different people with different like backgrounds. So you're going to have to like give like a short introduction on asteroids again. And you do have, I saw in your like Slack channel that there's new light curves. I think that, yeah, you should give yourself more credit, because you guys have done a lot of work and you've already submitted something, and you have like, you have a lot. You definitely have enough for a 10-minute presentation, I think.
Yeah, no doubt about that. At the same time, I'm trying to look at the intricacies involved. You know, last year, it was more like a summary. So not pretty in-depth per se, but at least we had a potential result sort of. Now we've been able to validate that result. So I was thinking that could form the premises for the presentation. Just mention it on it, because the asteroid we are working on now, I don't think it will be ready before that time. As soon as it's going to be ready, would have said we'll just incorporate it at the same time. So maybe we could just go ahead. But if you feel if we feel that it's sufficient, then we can go ahead. We could just probably bring Idris in, because he's the asteroid master after maths. Now he's working extensively on that, because he's doing part of his work on those. So we can ask for him if we have sufficient information to put it up as an abstract, because this other one, we are still running the analysis and we are not done with the write-up. We just started writing up.
Yeah.
Also, I wouldn't want a situation whereby we are giving something because if you recall last year, at some point where we had to take away the other asteroid, honestly, because we're having conflicting data and all. So I don't know. It's an option, but if we have a deadline, we'll have to submit this. Then we just have to take a decision on that.
Okay. If we still hope to try and harmonize last year's conference and this very one coming up, then I think we can look at the what do you call it, the first two sentences or so from the abstract, and see whether we can modify it a bit or so and add some things.
Chilma, what would you like to say?
Yeah, so in actual sense, that means it's going to be too abstract, because asteroid is more of a near Earth object. There's no way if we put the two together, as in to be under one abstract, it will really look as if we are not really going in depth. That means, according to what Nemeka is suggesting, let them be too abstract. Then, from what he's saying, I think we can submit the abstract for now. When is the conference coming up? November?
End of November.
I think you still have time for us to do something on that, or what do people think?
And I think, like Nemeka said, it's better if Idris give an overview of what is on ground, so that you will know whether it's probable for you people to actually actualize that before the conference.
Yeah, I think that my opinion on this is that we submit 2 abstracts. If both get accepted, great. If only one gets accepted, we combine the work into one. And that's because then we get 2 papers. Don't forget about the cost, the benefit here.
Sorry, I don't know. Are we presenting a paper on supernova, asteroid, and globular cluster, like those 3?
I don't think
research topics?
I don't think we're far enough in the supernova group. I still want us to collect a lot of data on a newer one. And I just haven't gotten there yet. So I don't think the supernova group is ready. But the globular clusters and the asteroid is something that everybody that's in the supernova group is also part of one of those 2 groups. So no one's getting left out of the paper by just doing these 2.
Okay. But asteroid, are they presenting anything? Those in asteroid group.
Yeah, so that's the plan. Like, well, yeah, that's what we're discussing. Do we want to present everything in one abstract, or do we want Adam? or-
Good. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, do we want to put everything into one abstract, or do we want to separate them out and do 2 separate abstracts and 2 separate presentations? Right now, I think the consensus is leaning towards having 2, having one for the globular clusters and having one for the asteroids group. So I think that's the route. I personally also think that's the route we should go, because a 10-minute presentation on both would be a lot of information in 10 minutes. I think having them separate is probably the better route to go. Sarah's giving me a nod to my right. So I think we're kind of reaching consensus that 2 presentations is the better route to go. Does mean a lot of work, but I think you guys can handle it. Nemeka, Chris, Chioma, anyone that's on that kind of asteroids group, did you guys want to try putting together something like what Eugene did here, and we can edit it and submit it along with this one? So there are 2 separate ones.
Back.
Welcome back.
When is the deadline?
We still have until the 24th.
Okay, we need to discuss with Matt and see.
That's a good idea. If you want to bring it up with Matt and work on putting that together there.
Yeah, so we also all want to like kind of make sure nobody is left out. So if we do submit 2, do we all agree that we will combine the 2 topics if one of them doesn't get accepted?
I can agree to that, yes.
But I prayed it to get accepted. There are 2 different topics, asteroids and globular clusters.
But if one doesn't get accepted, then we'll include the one that, so if we submit 2 abstracts and only one gets accepted, the abstract that wasn't accepted, we will include in the one that was accepted. If that makes sense.
No issues.
Well, it will make sense, but then we'll not have to try and harmonize the whole 2 together and see how it can be meaningful, and we can actually convey that message within 10 minutes.
We'll figure it out. This is the process of science. You pretend that you know what you're talking about for long enough, and then people believe you. So, we'll be able to do that. You just use a lot of words like leverage and like cutting edge, and then everyone will be like, wow, they really
Okay,
know
well
what they're
done.
talking about.
That's what actually makes you a consultant.
That's what makes it what?
A consultant.
Yeah.
The consultant.
Yep.
A consultant is someone that picks up what you understand that makes it sound
Yeah.
confusing to you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I have to get running. We have to get down to the bank and sign some stuff with Christy, so I'll be hopefully back. Okay, Amanda, you have to leave at 2, correct?
I have to leave at 2. Yeah.
Okay, then I guess I won't see you guys, but Sarah's gonna take over and wrap up the meeting for me.
Okay.
All right, great work today, guys. This abstract looks really good. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
But we need to do the work there.
So yeah, so we have a little bit over a month. Maybe we can restart meetings to be a little bit more frequent, and maybe we can start having group meetings as well. And we can start, like, now that everybody is kind of on the same baseline, which was the sort of the hope at the end of these like individual meetings, we can hopefully start divvying up the work so that things move along faster.
Yeah, or should we share the work to like individual? You tell us about this, you tell us about this, so that we could produce results. Or maybe we just carry on general. Then
So I got what you said, but I didn't understand your question.
like I was like, well, I don't think the deadline is so close that we just need to partition the whole work into small sizes and then giving it to individuals. I think we still have time that we can all work as
Yeah.
a team in all.
Yeah, I agree. So we have enough time to get some cool results. We have around a little over a month. But so even though the deadline is on the 24th for this, they strongly suggest submitting abstracts sooner than later, as they are decided upon on a rolling basis until then. So to maximize our chances of getting these accepted, we should try to submit them as soon as possible.
Also,
So go ahead.
are we sure of getting a waiver?
Kate has to reach out to them again. I think that it shouldn't be a problem. Like, I can't imagine why it would be.
Okay.
So please, I don't know. I think I got network issues, so I have to rejoin. And the link you shared for the Google Drive, I don't have it again.
Yeah.
Please.
It's in the Slack, but let me share
Okay,
it again here. Okay. I think
Thank
this one is almost good to go. So Eugene, I'm assuming that when you wrote it, you like followed this template, right? Which has been,
Yeah, I did. I did.
yeah. Okay, so if it was helpful, maybe we can make one for asteroids, and so that you guys can write up an abstract kind of quickly before we sign off. I'll edit this one a little bit more, but I think it's almost done. And then
Okay.
for asteroids, so that you guys know how to write the draft. So what questions to answer in your abstract. So this can build on previous presentation. So these questions apply. So let's see. How have we been meeting and performing analyses? So here, instead of Jupyter Notebooks, we can write that it's also, what is it called? MPO Canopus. And then what are our plans? What results do we hope to achieve? So the scientific goals of the asteroids are what? Wants to answer this? I can start. Characterize asteroid light curves. Why? Why do we care about asteroid light curves? What does it tell us? Why do we care about asteroid light curves? Okay. Well, you're gonna have to answer this yourself. Because I'm not gonna answer it for you. Okay. So why do we
I'm
care?
wondering where are they? They should come and answer this question. Okay. Let me see.
Are you planning to answer the questions now?
Well, I was thinking that like we're doing an outline of the scientific goals. So I thought that we could like quickly answer like why do we care about this? Like the scientific goal is to characterize an asteroid light curve. Why? What are we trying to get from these light curves? Okay, well, you can answer it later if you want.
Yeah, I think it's better that way. They will answer it later. Maybe you just show them how it should look like. So they'll fill it up themselves and then try and create the abstract.
Okay, yeah. So like see how in the globular clusters I had like, why is this interesting? Well, it's interesting because globular clusters are in this weird regime where we know so much about them, but we also are still using them in cutting edge research because they can help us answer questions about like things like dark matter, right? So like you have to make the audience like interested in what you're trying to do. Yeah. So why, maybe a nicer way to say this is why is this interesting? Okay. And then what results do we currently have? What? Right. So minor planet bulletin publication, maybe build on last year's presentation. You've come a long way. So build on last year's presentation and working on number whatever asteroid. Okay. And not only what results did you have, but what did you learn? Okay. So hopefully that's so both on a scientific basis and on a technical skills basis. Okay. Is this helpful?
Yeah, you said that what they learned from it. How about what is actually, how can it be applicable to, or how will I say it? Let me see, what are the benefits of the knowledge they've acquired from the results they had, you know? So like, okay, what is actually the application of it or of their result?
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind
Yeah,
of like
because
the, why do we care? Yeah. right? Like, because it's like, well, we got this result, how can you apply it? And
Yes, yeah, because since we are trying to relate to the past presentation,
mhm,
yeah, it's going to be meaningful if they actually say, okay, they got this result, and then from this result, and they've realized benefit attached to it, they had to now proceed to do other things, which is now the current one they are doing.
yeah, exactly. That's a good point. And this could be like current and future, right? Like you can say, oh, I have this result and I will blah, like we plan to do
Okay.
this or whatever, right? Okay. So I have to run because I have another meeting right now because they never end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So, everything was awesome. The meeting was awesome, and yeah, the whole idea and the whole abstracts were really, really awesome. So
well,
that's the
you
idea
did
of
them, so
no. That's the idea of teamwork, and it's actually lovely. Yeah.
yeah, no, this is great. Thank you. I really enjoy working with you guys, and I know that Adam does too, and yeah, and all of the whole Glass team. So thanks
Yeah.
for being great. Yeah.
Thank you, dear.
Okay. All right. Well, so I will be in touch about maybe meeting a little more often, like in this month before the presentation. And I'll push on Kate to ask about the waivers. And yeah. And I'll probably bother you about the asteroid abstract. So be prepared for that.
It's okay.
Okay.
So we look forward to meeting again and
Yeah.
moving forward and getting better preparation before then.
Sounds good. Okay. It was great as always, and have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next week.
Okay. Same to you, and take care. Bye.
Bye, guys.